Kahalalem Yahab Hashim Yashab Bashar Hakodash. And double on Instagram was an apostles. Thought I'll share for the strength in order to for giving the strength in order to make this video. And shalom to the Akim as well, going out there in the highs and byes and preaching, producing fruit as well for Israelites to feed on as well. And as the topic today goes, their disbelief will turn into curiosity, because we know, as the scripture goes. In fact, I'll just get it out right now. I think it's Ezekiel 2 verse 5. Yeah. Well, there's that time is coming where Israelites are going to start realizing, those ones where you told your family, friends that about the truth, Yahweh tried to explain it to them. Some of them may have rejected you, some of them may have just taken you as a jerk and still take you as a jerk as well. But that time is coming where where the scriptures say a prophet has been among them. And that's the one that I'm gonna get right now. Let me get it right now. Because we're living in times where these prophecies are gonna start springing out, man. They're not even gonna. They've already started springing out, man. So, man, let me get the scripture first. So this is Ezekiel 2 verse 5. Ezekiel 2 verse 5, and let me start again. Ezekiel 2 verse 5, and they whether they will hear or whether they will forbear, for they are a rebellious house, yet shall know that there hath been a prophet among them, which is the key part of the scripture, man. The realization that there's been someone who's been trying to give them the truth the whole time, man. And it's going to be too late before they then realize they need to actually try and access the same prophet again, and obviously try and get more information. But that's the time where, Yahweh Shem Yashai is going to start locking up the mouths of the prophets, man. I think it should be here somewhere. I think it might be in Amos or something. Is it Amos 8? Yeah, man, that time is coming where Yahweh Shem Yashai is gonna just need to check something. It's gonna lock up the mouths of the prophets, man. The time where Akim aren't gonna be able to preach, whether it be because of the fact that they've been taken into prison, because for rejecting them or for rejecting it, or it may be for another reason as well, some kind of let's say even even a bounty as well being put up on their heads. That means they gotta stay low key too, because there'll be hunters out there as well coming out for Akim. That's gonna be during the time of Jacob's trouble too. Oh yeah, this is it. Amos chapter 8 verse 11. It says here, behold, the days come, saith the Lord Yahweh, that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, nor a thirst for water, but of hearing the words of the Lord Yahweh. So of course, there's going to be a time where accessing the word is going to be hard, man. It's going to be real hard, because obviously right now we still got the internet. We can watch old videos. We still got access to that. Even other Israelites still have access to it, even though they don't take it seriously. As I said in the beginning of the video, they're either family members or even friends that you may tell about the truth. They either take as a jerk, or they reject you, or ultimately they just take you unseriously. They don't take the truth seriously. And that time's coming where that realization that's actually important for the times, because they're going to start seeing the prophecies themselves with their own eyes, man. They're going to start seeing it for themselves, and then when that realization kicks in, that's when they'll start seeking answers. And in that time, Yahweh Shem Yashai is going to put in their minds to realize that there's always been that close by person, that person being a prophet, who's been trying to tell them the whole time. And even in that time as well, that's when Yahweh Shem Yashai is going to lock up the mouths of the prophets, man, as it says in Amos 8 verse 11. Going straight to the point, it says, behold the days, Amos 8 verse 11, behold the days Come, saith the Lord Yahweh, that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, nor a thirst for water, but of hearing the words of the Lord Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua. Because, that time, preaching's going to just get harder and harder. That's really the reality of things. And we know that obviously some like him may go to prison too. Others obviously have to die for the truth. Other ones too, a bounty could be put on brothers' heads. All sorts of scenarios, man. Obviously that's going to make, obviously this is going to be in Jacob's trouble too, man. Jake ain't going to be in some relaxed state in that time, man. And we're coming real close, man. Real close. With the famines looming. It's obviously prices, hyperinflation. Then when it comes to the point, when hyperinflation then pushes people to the point where they start to, that sedition among men will then start to happen. I think there's already some happening in Paris right now as well. There's going to be a lot of sedition. Should be here. See right here what's in the Apocrypha. Come. Maybe it's elsewhere. But yeah, the point is, there's going to be sedition among men. So in that time, that's when chaos is truly gonna start happening, man. People are gonna be stressed, no food, no water. Obviously the carnal side is gonna start being revealed. Speaking of carnal side, Esau's then gonna reveal himself being the devil, man. You're gonna see that ruthless demon from him. Even these low level Edomites, you're gonna start seeing the carnality as well. It's gonna start even speaking of carnality. The scriptures also talk about the cannibalism to come too, man. I think about the fathers shall eat their sons, or their sons shall eat their fathers. It's in Ezekiel somewhere, Ezekiel 3 or Ezekiel 5. Let me get it quickly. Ezekiel 3 or Ezekiel 5. I think it should be 5 verse 9 or something. Yeah. Yeah, I'll read from verse 9, but the point is in verse 10. Wait. Yeah. This is Ezekiel 5 verse 9. And I will do in thee that which I have not done, and which whereunto I will not do any more, the like, because of all thine abominations. So obviously, because of all the abominations that Israel is participating in, this is why Yahweh has made this decision. Yahweh Shem Yahshai. It says in verse 10, therefore the fathers shall eat the sons in the midst of thee, and the sons shall eat their fathers. And I will execute judgments in thee, and the whole remnant of thee will I scatter into all the winds. So of course that division is going to come, and also that cannibalism, which is the core point that I was trying to bring out, is going to come, man. That cannibalism is going to come. And that's when people are going to start going crazy. For real. Because imagine seeing that as well. Just the sight alone it's going to start making people trip, man. But yeah, that's the point. Jacob's trouble, man. It ain't going to be a light thing to endure through. Well, this is why we need to have our faith dedicated, rooted in Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Because ultimately, he's the one who allows our spirit. Well, as the scripture says, the father of spirits. Yahweh is the father of spirits. So obviously, you want to be on his good side, ultimately, simply speaking. And by doing that, studying, doing the works, producing fruit, doing as we were commanded to do, really. So let me get Hosea 4 verse 6, because the reason why our people are in disbelief as well is because that lack of knowledge. If you don't have knowledge, obviously that would then bring in that disbelief. Because if you don't have the knowledge, you don't have the understanding. You're not able to have the understanding of why it's important to know the names of Yahweh Shem Yahshua and really understand the truth as well. all these different scriptural breakdowns. And without the understanding, that's when that disbelief, you're prone to having disbelief against Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. So let me try to get Hosea 4 verse 6 right now. This is Hosea 4 verse 6. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge, because thou hast rejected knowledge. I will also reject thee, that thou shalt be no priest to me, seeing thou hast forgotten the law of thy God. I will also forget thy children. So again, the key part, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. And obviously it says, because thou hast rejected knowledge. So they rejected it, man. They got given the options, and obviously the Yahweh Hashem Yahshua's prophets as well. They got given the option to gain this knowledge, the knowledge of the truth, the scriptures as well. Well, obviously the truth being the understanding of the scriptures, and of course, pretty much the grand scheme of things as well, because of the fact that we know that there's been false teachings that's been placed into Israelites' heads, man. You know, you still got Israelites out there still thinking that hell is real, and that's another done-up case as well. So that's how, and you know, pretty much Israelites in all these different philosophies, man. Obviously, we've been given the knowledge, and they've been given the knowledge or the option to grasp it, but they don't want to do it. They rejected knowledge, man. That's why they are destroyed. Hence why Hosea 4 verse 6 says, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. They don't have the knowledge, or rather they reject it, even if they got the option to take it, but they wouldn't take the knowledge. So ultimately, that's what will probably push further their disbelief as well, man. But again, as the scriptures say, there got to be 2/3, innit? And 2/3 is obviously a bigger number than the 1/3, man. Imagine 2/3 of Israel. That's a lot of Israelites that are going to get cleared. Let me just get that quickly. Zechariah 13 verse 8 or 9. I think verse 8. And it shall come to pass, this is Zechariah chapter 13 verse 8, and it shall come to pass that in all the land, saith the Lord Yahweh, 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die, but a third shall be left therein. So obviously 2/3 shall be cut off, meaning they're going to die, man. They're going to die through multiple forms of judgment, man. That's the point. So 2/3 of Israelites, that's gonna be the case, man. That's gonna be the case right now. It's gonna be happening little by little until the point where in Jacob's trouble it's just gonna be mass destruction, really. A mass wipeout of these 2/3. Ultimately, the mass wipeout is actually gonna be when the nuclear missiles start falling. That's gonna be the mass wipeout of the 2/3. But of course, judgments will happen as well prior to that. Let me get another scripture as well. Because ultimately as well, you know, sometimes, you know, you try and tell your family and your friends as well about the truth, but, you know, they reject it. But then when they see another video, for example, let's say there was this, I think TikTok video of a guy talking about the banks that are going to fall down. And as we know, the thing is the CBDCs that are to come, that's also a setup for the mark of the beast too, man. I think one of the brothers, I did mention this in a previous video, that one of the brothers mentioned that, what did they mention? It was an article of the fact that people wouldn't need a phone or a device to access their account, and of course the option that was provided was the chip, and of course we know we're coming into those times as well, man. So obviously all these things that ESOs are laying in place, man, the CBDCs, and obviously these the hyperinflation, basically to kill the economy, and then eventually that B system is then going to come in. When the B system comes in, that's when they're going to roll out the chip, man. And it's going to put those conditions so that people actually go to ESOL to get all sorts of scenarios where, all sorts of possibilities where you're going to have the 2/3 take the chip. They're going to have, obviously the heathens don't matter anyways, but the thing is you're going to have a lot of people taking that chip, man, in these times to come. Yeah, so obviously when they start seeing these prophecies come to pass, that's when that curiosity is gonna start kicking in, man. They're gonna start asking more questions. Like, why is this happening? Oh, so is that why he said the last time that this is happening? Oh, so that's what the scriptures meant ultimately. You're gonna start seeing that type of thinking, man, that type of that realization, as I said before, that what we've been saying the whole time for years, what the apostles, the elders of GMS have been saying for all those years have actually come to pass, man. All those scriptural breakdowns, they've been happening, man. Scriptural breakdowns of the prophecies. But yeah, let me get Psalms 110 verse 3, man, because there's also a time that disbelief turned into curiosity will be also certified even more by the spiritual power to come. It's going to be, they're going to really ask questions at that time. And the scriptures say right here. Psalm 110 verse 3. God, this is Psalms 110 verse 3. It says, thy people shall be willing in the day of thy power and the beauties of holiness. From the womb of the morning thou hast the dew of thy youth. So the point is, thy people shall be willing in the day of thy power. So obviously in the time where Yahweh Hashem Yashai is going to bestow that spiritual power upon brothers, apostles, elders, brothers, on down. The thing is, in that time, you're going to have them regular jakes. That may be potential one-thirds as well. That may be saved just by even the sight of the miracles, man, that are performed by the brothers. So in that time, Jake going to be asking questions in those days. If not questions, they're going to be willing to follow as well and know the truth and gain the knowledge, man. So the point is, they're going to be willing in that day, man. When they see that spiritual power that Yahweh Hashem Yashai bestows upon his men, upon the prophets, that's going to be it, man. That's going to be it, you know. It's going to be a time of wonders, really. A time of wonders. So calm, man. It's going to be a cold time. A real cold time. So Jay's going to be asking questions after, obviously, the previous state that they were in. They were in disbelief, man. They didn't believe what we were saying. So, of course, when that disbelief then fades away, that's when, you know, well, before it starts to fade away, obviously it's going to be those prophecies that they're seeing. That's going to make that disbelief fade away. But then ultimately, spiritual power bestowed upon the men will then make that disbelief get shattered, man. Because it'll be like, there's nothing else for them to believe in, man. Esau's world is gone, it's done. It's going to be destroyed. And that's it. It's already it's already falling apart already, man. And the signs are clear. Right. And of course, with the lack of knowledge in Hosea 4 verse 6, we also have the lack of wisdom, man. Which is why which is why the 2/3 are going to die. Because they ain't got the wisdom. You know, if you research the definition of wisdom, you know, wisdom is really the experience, the knowledge, and what's the other part? It's having that experience, the knowledge, and good judgment, man. These 2/3 don't have the knowledge, you know, Hosea 4 verse 6. And these 2/3 don't have the experience as well, man. As well as not even to say about the good judgment. They ain't got good judgment, man. If they had good judgment, they would have realized this is the place to be at, man. The truth. So, you should, wait. So, okay. So, Ecclesiastes chapter 7 verse 12. It says, for wisdom is a defense, and money is a defense. But the excellency of knowledge is that wisdom giveth life to them that have it. So the point is that for wisdom is a defense, and, you know, going straight to the point, it says, but the excellency of knowledge is that wisdom giveth life to them that have it. So of course, us having the wisdom of the scriptures bestowed upon us that we've grasped this opportunity for as well. The thing is, that's actually going to provide us more life to come, man. And you know, as Job 5 verse 5 verse 19 or verse 22, talking about the fact that we want to laugh during famine and destruction, man. Which means we'll also be comforted by Yahweh Hashem Yashai. And we know that obviously we do have our moments where, in the truth, where it's that we feel lowly. But of course, we also do have moments where Yahweh Hashem Yashar also comforts us as well, man, to make us feel good for a time. But obviously, there's that balance, really. So the point is, the wisdom that we got from the scriptures is also one of the factors that distinguishes or separates the 1/3 from the 2/3, man. But yeah, that's the point of the lesson, man. That disbelief will turn into curiosity real soon. In fact, it's already started. But your family, friends are gonna start asking questions, different things, man. Not just questions, they're gonna start following as well. But yeah, and Shalom Akim. And Kahala Limla Yahaba Hashem Yashab Hashem Rachach Kodash, and double honest to the great Muslim apostles. And yeah, I can just gotta keep enduring, man. Just gotta keep going. But yeah, Shalom.